the partial pressure of both oxygen and CO2 vary between the alveoli and the capillary. And this is going to determine which direction they will travel. So if you look in this diagram, this is the alveoli, so this is air in the lungs. And then this is blood plasma, which is a liquid. Remember that the respiratory membrane is very thin, and it's a combination between the endothelial cells and the epithelial simple squamous layer of the alveoli, the pneumocytes. So they're basically stuck right together. Their basement membranes are combined. So it's a very short distance for the gas to diffuse. Now, if you look at the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli, it's around 100. And remember, that's millimeters of mercury. If you look at the partial pressure of oxygen returning from the body after it's dropped off its oxygen to the cells that need it, look at it, it's really low, 40. So this is basically just simple diffusion. You're going from a pressure, we're talking about gases, so that's why we're talking about pressures instead of concentrations. You're going from a pressure of 100 down to a pressure of 40. So the oxygen will go into the blood. Now it will do that until the pressure reaches an equilibrium, until it gets up to 100, and then you have equal and opposite amounts going in and out. But the important point is that by the time the blood is going out of the aorta to the body, the oxygen levels are high so that it can carry that oxygen to the cells. So the PO2 is higher in the air than in that venous blood returning, and the PCO2 is lower in the air than the venous blood returning. So 45 here for CO2 and 40 in the lungs. So you get CO2 going back so that it can be exhaled and leave the body. Diffusion and respiratory function. Henry's law is going to determine not only the direction, but also the rate of the diffusion between the air and the blood. So the greater the difference between the partial pressure of oxygen in the air and in the venous blood, the greater the movement of oxygen into the blood. So if your cells, if you start exercising and your cells start using a lot more oxygen and this goes down to 30, you're going to get more oxygen coming in, which makes sense.